you.
Good morning, welcome. I'm Scott.
Mariah.
Hi, Mariah. I'm Donna.
Nice to meet you, Donna. Mariah.
Nice to meet you.
Hi, Mariah.
Please have a chair. Resume for us. Thank you. Okay, you are you're here to apply for the resettlement caseworker.
Yes.
And we like to start with the question, what do you understand the position to be? Just to make sure we're on the same page here.
From what I've read and researched about the position, it is welcoming refugees at the airport, coming in, and basically for the next 6 months teaching them, getting them hooked up with workshops and interviews and working with the local churches and the communities in the area to get them resettled into American culture and to understand what American culture is about so that they have an easy time becoming a part of our culture, the difficult situations that they're coming from, and just resettling into what American culture would be.
Now, you have had some overseas experience,
I have.
and we'll probably dig a little deeper in that in just a little bit, but I want to relate that to what did you learn from your overseas experience that would prepare you for this type of position?
Well, when I was in Africa for 3 months, there was a position that I was offered, and there were 14 interns altogether, and there was a separate position that I was offered, and I was one of 2 interns that was offered the position, and that was basically to go off on our own and help a separate missionary at a separate hospital alone, and was submerged 100% into the culture. And while I was there, I was used as a translator just because I picked up French so easily. I taught English there. So basically I just lived there on my own and with another girl, and we were just in the culture, and it was incredible. It was an incredible experience, and I think that through that I learned just how I do in uncomfortable situations where I had no idea, even a week into going on the trip, that I would be thrown into this position, and I was, and I thrived, and I made contacts over there, and it was just a great experience. So.
Share with us a little bit about how your education has prepared you for this type of role. What have you learned that through your study that would help you in case study work?
Well, there's a class actually that I took last semester about teams and communities, and we learned about basically what an intercultural team looks like, and when you're dealing with culture, when dealing with people from other cultures, how you have to understand the team as a whole, and not just coming at it from your perspective, but understanding, especially as a team leader, as someone who is guiding this team and leading them forward, not to only lead from your perspective, but to understand your team and know the cultures that they're coming from, and understand the type of culture that they are coming from, and whether it's a straightforward culture like the United States, or whether it's an Asian culture that is very laid back, no eye contact, that sort of thing. So it's very important to understand your team, understand the culture that they're coming from, understand and make them feel comfortable, not that you're coming at them in a straightforward position.
One of the things this position requires is someone who can welcome people. Can you give us an example of you establishing relationships with people from other cultures and that sort of way?
Well, there was, when I was in Africa, there was a time where when I was at the hospital, the separate hospital, doing the work that I was assigned, there was a pastor there who our team had a great relationship with, but and he came to visit us in the States a couple months ago, and I recently was just married, and we had kept in contact, and I was in Africa 2 years ago, and we had kept in contact through email and letters, and he came and he was angry that I got married without his permission. So it was something that I didn't realize the depth of the relationship that I had impacted him with, but it was definitely very touching and informative that I did connect with the people there, and I still have contacts and still keep in touch with the people there, and mostly every country that I've been to, I keep in touch as much as I can, and continue to build that relationship with them.
We're looking for somebody too who has a number of skills that are not always common, but those would involve computer skills, organizational skills, things of that nature. Can you give us an idea of how you would fare there?
Well, when I grew up, my family always had computers, just because my older brothers are very computer tech savvy. So I have a lot of the background knowledge in PC, but I also decided to switch to Mac when I came to the iOS program when I came to college. So I know that fairly well. So either or, I can pretty much work my way around either or those systems.
And we're a relief. We like to hire the best we can find, and but we also recognize that there are no perfect employees. Can you share with us a weakness that you have?
Probably a weakness would be I like to be challenged and I thrive in situations that are uncomfortable. So when I'm in the mundane, the everyday, it's sometimes can be difficult for me to be necessarily 100% involved in that, because I like being challenged and I thrive in situations that are challenging. So it would probably be to keep steady with just the mundane.
You briefly mentioned French, but one of the things that you'll probably need are some language skills and the ability to pick up languages. Can you talk a little bit about that?
I don't have any language necessarily per se that I would consider myself bilingual, but I was an interpreter in Africa. They use me as one, but since I've been back in the States, I've kind of lost that because I've been taking Spanish. Currently I'm taking Spanish, and I'm an intermediate too. So it's easy for me to pick up languages. I just have to be 100% committed into that. And the reason that I picked up French so easily in Africa was because I had to know it. In order to survive, I had to know it. So when I'm put in that situation, it's something where if I need to know it, then I'm going to know it.
As we kind of wrap things up here, we want to give you an opportunity to ask us questions. Do you have any questions for us?
As far as I know that this position is directly in contact with the refugees. How does that look for the rest of the company as far as the workers in the site? How are they in contact? Do they have any contact, or is that just specifically the caseworker's job?
You are the front lines for us in that respect, in stateside. So when we get names or referrals from a variety of sources, you're the person. Although if you refer to our mission statement, that we're about serving the most vulnerable, and so as an organization, that's where we're looking. So everybody's involved in the work of caring for refugees in this office
Right.
in Kent, but you're the contact person.